All right, good afternoon. My name is Connor Fletcher. I am the procurement analyst for this solicitation. For the record, this meeting is being recorded and has been publicly noticed. Today's meeting is being held by means of communications media technology. Active participation will be for everyone in attendance. Provisions have been made for any member of the public desiring to have access to attend this meeting. The meeting will also be available via recording after the meeting has ended. As a matter of housekeeping for participants, please keep yourself muted unless you are speaking. Bidders, you are cautioned that only written addendum will change the bid document. Any statements or contents made at this meeting which might appear to modify the bid document shall be considered by bidders as only the tentative position and not the formal position of the county. In order for these statements to be considered as an actual change to the solicitation, they must be published in a written amendment or addendum. Please also be advised that the cone of silence is in effect and bidders should not be contacting any employees of the county other than those identified in the cone of silence clause in the bid document. All questions should be submitted in writing via the vendor discussions in Bonfire to me. The deadline for questions should be 14 days from today. Please submit questions early so that responses can be provided in a timely and accurate manner. With that said, I'm going to turn this over to we'll do Amy Jarman first, and then we can pass over to Gwen Savasti. If everybody could introduce themselves before they begin speaking, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amy Jarman. I'm with Hillsborough County Capital Programs. I am the project manager for the solicitation under capital programs. Bill, would you like to introduce? Sorry, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Gwen Savitasi, Special Projects Coordinator in the MBE SBE programs. And I'm also over the SBE set-aside projects.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Hand with Capital Programs Department.
Gwen, if you wouldn't mind going first, it seems to be helpful to go over the MBE requirements first, and then I'll go in through the project details.
Sure. So for our segment of the contract, we do require that if you are not already registered as an SBE business, to do so now before the bid closes. It does take about 30 days to review and approve any registrations to be an SBE an SBE firm with Hillsborough County. Our participation in this throughout the life of the contract is just to support the contract manager and the department. So that is your first point of contact. We are here to help facilitate any communications or any issues you may have regarding your certification. And I can provide you with my contact information in this chat. Thank you.
Amy, you are muted. But real quick, for the cone of silence, you can talk to Gwen. I know I had that whole spiel at the beginning. You can talk to Gwen about things related to being a small business set aside, etc. It's just not about the bid specifically. So those are considered two separate things. So if you have questions about getting registered or what that means, you can contact her. Thank you. Go ahead, Amy.
And just to clarify, Gwen, I wanted to verify that they need to be a SBE qualified contractor with Hillsborough County, correct? It's 100%. If you could clarify that.
Yes, that is correct. For the majority of our SBE firms, they must be certified with Hillsborough County. Any reciprocity that they may try to come over with, they would have to be on a current existing contract. And that is a one-time reciprocity that we would do. But they, after that 6 months or within those 6 months, they would have to register with Hillsborough County.
Gwen, do you have the web address that they would need to look at, or where on the website they would go to?
Yes, I can drop that in the link, or I can provide that to both you and Connor in an email.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. I just want to point out a couple things on the actual contract within the special conditions and the invitation to bid. I'll just go through a few things. Our scope here is to be minor facilities. Construction work and renovation work may include, but will not be limited to the following: interior building repairs and renovations, new building construction, building expansions and additions, re-roofing, exterior building repairs and renovations, site work, utilities, landscaping, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, building site work, selective demolition, and special construction. The contractor shall furnish all labor and materials and equipment for the accomplishment of all work as described in the specifications, as shown in the plans if provided, and as directed by the project manager in accordance with the expressed or obvious intent of the contract. The contract will perform as needed work under separate work orders, which will generally range from $50,000 to $500,000 in value, or up to the maximum amount per project or work order allowed under Section 25520, subparagraph 1, Florida statutes, whichever is higher. It is a RS means cost data contract. There is a set of books and a online website that you can get that if you don't have it already, but it is required to be an RS means. And it'll be 2000 or 2025 annual edition, whichever is in effect at notice of commencement of contract. We do have within the contract an NPI of $25,000. That is for non-priced items that are not within means. And then permits are also identified within our section dollar amount for non-priced items. This is a contract that is going to be allocated to 3 different contractors. It's a 2-year period. We have, if you look at special conditions, let me pull that up. Paragraph 1.08, basis for award for contract and price. Bid pricing will be basis of the multiplier provided in the bid proposal. The county may select as many as 3 qualified contractors. Award on the solicitation for the following amount. The responsive and responsible bidder with the lowest multiplier, $750,000. Responsible and responsive bidder with second lowest multiplier of $700,000. And the responsive and responsible bidder with the third lowest multiplier of $650,000. The pricing of work orders in paragraph 1.12 within the special conditions. You might want to look over that. It discuss the pricing of the work orders. It is based on RS means cost data 2025 annual edition publication, whichever edition is in effect at the time of the work order, notice of commencement, or contract. If you look at paragraph 1.12.1, pricing of work orders shall be accomplished by multiplying the appropriate unit price times the quantities of each line item required for the work order to arrive at the maximum pay quantity for that line item. All such line item pay quantities shall be added and then multiplied by the contractor's multiplier to arrive at the maximum work order cost. I do want to point out that within special conditions, paragraph 1.06.1, that it is expressed to the 3rd decimal place. So just refer to that paragraph within there. The one other item I want to point out that in paragraph 1.07, the bid price multiplier, the multiplier must contain all your cost items and amount deemed sufficient by the contractor for all overhead, profit, taxes, including sales taxes, performance and payment bonds, insurance, minimal design, shop drawings, estimating, engineering, and drafting support, administrative support, superintendent, maintenance of traffic, progress meeting expenses, contract startup and closeout costs, required computer equipment supplies, warranty, guarantees, and all contingencies and risks associated with this contract. The contractor is hereby notified that no other amounts will be paid in excess of the multiplier provided in the bid proposal. So within the special conditions there, it explains the means process we go by. So if you have any questions, please send those over in writing and we can get those clarified if needed. Currently, our scope of work that we have allocated this project includes some restroom renovations, but and some minor other interior renovations, but that is subject to change as we go along here. That is our current scope. So at this time, that is what I have. Again, send your questions in writing to Connor, and he will get those in a response to you.
Alrighty. Bill, do you have anything?
This might be repetitive of Amy, but just to clarify that the NPI allowance of 25,000 applies to each contract.
That is correct.
Okay, with that said, I don't believe vendors, do you have anything? It's probably going to have to be resulted into writing, but if you have anything real quick that you just want to mention, it might be fine. Leslie, we cannot hear you if you're speaking, but you're not muted. We're just not getting sound. No, nothing. Maybe it's a sign.
You could
Maybe
try
we'll
the
have-
chat function, maybe. Can you try that?
Well, Leslie, you have my email address. It's going to be all over the bonfire project and the document. So feel free to send me an email today and we'll try and I'll at least let you know that I received it. And if it's something I can just shoot you back an email about, great. If not, we'll get it evaluated over here and get it ready for posting.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, Connor. This is Duke with the Cow Group. I just had a question about can you hear me at first?
We can, yep.
Okay, great. I just had a question about the RS mean publications. Is that something we can get from you all, or is that something we need to get on our own as far as how RS means calculates material overhead, cost of the work?
So just so I can be clear, is your question, where can you access the RS mean as a metric?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So the county doesn't provide RS means to the contractors. That would be up to the contractors.
Yeah, RS means is
Okay.
RS means is a publication. It's an available resource, but we don't manage that resource.
Okay, that's not a problem. I can go online and get those publications. Just I guess a second question, I can follow up with this in writing. Amy mentioned minimal design and engineering support in drafting. Typically, that's a third-party consultant. Will we be responsible for drawings and specs, or could you further define minimal design and engineering and drafting support, or is it better if I send in that question to you, Connor?
Yeah, this will be a question that you'll have to submit, because even if we were to answer it here, we will want to make sure everybody else receives that same answer, as it may impact their bid. So please send that over to me in writing, and that way we can get it distributed.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I asked that is, different projects will require different types of professional design services and such. So it's hard to quantify that in a multiplier. So, but I'll send in that question to you. Thank you.
Okay, if that's all, we will end the recording and we will be out of here. Anything else from anybody? Okay, thank you. Everybody have a good afternoon.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.